The social contract. Listen, brother, there are those of us here on the earth that want to go along to get along. We want to be liked. We want people to say, that Nicky G, he's a cool guy. He's really fun to play with, man. But you know what's really cool? Not caring about what people think and doing what you want. You got to be a rebel, like Willem Dafoe, like Elvis, like John Wayne, like Gerard, Weather like Captain. Let's talk about some cards that break the social contract in Commander. Let's pontificate as to whether we should use these cards and their use case scenarios. But first, you got to subscribe, brother. We've got a Patreon, we got memberships on YouTube, and we got a Discord you can join for free. Thanks to all those beautiful people that make up this community. I love you guys, man. You're the whole reason why I get up in the morning and do these admittedly stupid videos. Now, what got me thinking about this subject was a little banger from 1998, Sunder. I do have this card in a Talrand deck. 3 blue for an instant, return all lands to their owner's hands. This card is a masterpiece, man. So this, combined with a Cyclonic Rift, can be pretty backbreaking. But so is everything with Cyclonic Rift, right? Now this card is symmetrical, but you can break the synergy by using up your mana to bounce stuff first, not playing a land, and then getting your land drop first. If your board is the biggest, you've got the advantage as well. I've used this in Talrand because I usually have a grip of flyers. A Drake Menace, if you will. You get like 10 Drakes out there, bounce everybody's lands, nothing they can do about it. They're just going to get bashed, right, with a bunch of flyers right in the face. Everybody else has to rebuild. Now, another big issue after a big Sunder is that your opponents have like 15 cards in hand, and they're probably all lands, you know? So if you stack your deck with no maximum hand size stuff like Thought Vessel, Decanter of Endless Water, you'll be able to deploy more efficiently. You won't have to discard the hand size. If you have a Simic deck with cards like Azusa and those landfall effects, paradoxically, you can get more benefit from your land drops, get them all back to your hand, deploy more quickly. Now, if you're in a deck that relies on artifact-generated mana, if you're deploying lots of artifacts that tip-tap for that cute little mana, you're going to be in better shape than everyone else with their handful of lands. So does this break this social contract? Does this violate the inviolable commandment, thou shalt not mess with the lands? Yeah, kind of, but it's legal, it's in the game, and it's a cool card. It's not even a game changer. The problem is that it grinds the game down. People are back to square one in terms of their resources. Turns drag on, people can't get back to eating Cheetos and they're lazy boys. They want this game to end at some point. You have to have a game-winning position. Cards like this are very difficult to utilize effectively, and therefore piss people off. Denial of resources is onerous. It slows things down mightily. So say you're a budget player, right? You're playing your goblin deck. It's an aggro deck with goblins, goblin lords, and all kinds of fun stuff. Goblins. So your bros are playing their monster $1,000 deck with their super greedy mana base. So listen, man, Blood Moon them, Just get that Blood Moon out there. But you know what? Blood Moon can really mess up those greedy mana bases, but they still have access to that mana. How about this card? Ruination. 3 and a red for a sorcery, destroy all non-basic lands. There is a mystery booster version of this for $1 or so. The Easter Island heads are getting their vengeance, brother. They're finally coming out from their shells. Alright, their subterranean graves. And wreaking havoc on everybody. Does this break the social contract? Yes. But listen, if you're in mono red, you don't have access to landfall and multiple land ramp situations so prevalent in Commander in the color green. But you do have access to this. You have access to punish those greedy mana bases and reverse that landfall nonsense. Now don't get me started, but there's this whole archetype centered around discard. Actually, do get me started, because that's what I'm making this video about. These are tough for me because I hate discard. Tiny Bones, the Trinket Thief. Look at this guy. 1 in a black, legendary creature, skeleton rogue. It's a 1/2. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card, you lose 1 life. Nasty. Has 4 black. Each opponent with no cards in hand loses 10 life. So this guy's got his win condition right on it. He's got draw stabled right on it, man. So the win condition on this guy is to get you into top deck mode. Make sure you can't play. And then he swings in 125 times, finally wins the game. Just kidding. Or everyone scoops, which is a valid win condition. Making everyone miserable so that they scoop is valid. But it's miserable, dude. People are gonna hate you. That's the tricky part of the social contract stuff. It extends out into real life. People are like, they'll talk about you behind your back and say, yeah, you know, Nick can come play Commander, but he's a real son of a bee, dude. He's got that Tiny Bones deck. People are going to fight you in front of their cars on the way out the door, man. Now, so far, none of these have even been game changers. They're onerous cards, they're nasty. But what about this card? Turgid, God of Fright. 3 black, legendary creature god. It's a 4/5, has a menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Fear is her one true companion. Look at the art on this thing, man. I wish old Nikki G was her one true companion. This plays in the discard realm, which we've established we don't like, but also plays in the sacrificing things realm. Turns that little fleshbag marauder into 3 permanents. I think Turgid is fine in the 99 of decks where the commander rewards sacrifice and discard and things like that, but as the commander, it lends itself to some very oppressive builds. Granted, it is 5 mana, you know, but this thing is so nasty. I've played a couple games where the theme was discard on one of the commanders that somebody trotted out, and it just ground down to this like attrition based game where we're just putting things out from the top of our library and that's it. You know, everybody has 1 card per turn, and it just was like just a misery, man. Didn't really enjoy that too much. And that's kind of the thing, you know, in Commander it's like, hey man, we're gonna play for like an hour and a half. You know, this is our very limited free time. Let's see what happens, and then you just have like a miserable experience. That's kind of what the social contract is all about. Everybody knows you're signing up for a couple hours of a game here, and you want to be nice to each other, you know. That being said, you also want to be able to win the game, so I don't know. You know, you're walking this thin line between making people like you and having fun and losing the game, you know, or just winning the game and making them not like you. Now, one of the most oppressive cards in the game is this one right here, the Mindslaver. 6 generic mana, legendary artifact, has 4 and tap, sacrifice it. You control target player during that player's next turn. That is just awful. You get Mindslaver looped, it's no fun, man. This is the emblem for misery, this card, although I do like the art. Looks like that guy's about to do something really cool, but you don't get to play the game. I play your turn. It is 10 mana. But it's pretty easy to recur and just enslave someone for the rest of the game, dude. Creating slavery. It's miserable, man. I have used this card, but I feel real dirty after. It's kind of the problem with the social contract stuff is the guilt. I was raised in Catholic schools and they really beat that guilt into you. Literally, dude. They beat you right into a locker. It's a knife edge you have to balance on. This game, it gives you infinite cosmic power, but not the wisdom to wield it. That only comes through experience and time, brother. Using these types of cards as an art form. You have to justify it to your opponents, but more importantly, you have to justify it to yourself. Or you could just play CEDH. Those guys play to win, and that's pretty rad, and that's better Commander, brother. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know the cards that really upset you in the comments below. And I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day today. I just wanted to drop a short video talking about some bogus cards that I've seen out there and that I've used myself. Nikki G signing off.